He gave me a quick kiss on the forehead, grabbed his suitcase, and walked out the door. I watched from the window as his car rolled down the long driveway, the dust swirling in his wake. I waited for the ache in my chest to ease, but it never did. It had been like this for a long time, months, maybe even years. A slow, quiet unraveling. The love was still there, somewhere, but I couldn't feel him anymore. Not really. He'd grown distant, and I'd grown used to it. I turned from the window and glanced at the coffee he'd made that morning. It was still warm, but like us, it was cooling fast. The silence pressed in all around me, loud, heavy, and almost alive. I couldn't stay in that house. I needed air. The stables were my refuge. Unlike the rooms I used to love, they didn't suffocate me. The smell of hay, leather, and earth grounded me. The soft clatter of hooves, the warm breath of an animal who never asked questions. It was all a kind of comfort my home no longer offered. He was waiting when I arrived, his dark eyes watching me with quiet recognition. I ran my fingers along his muzzle, feeling the warm exhale of his breath against my skin. He leaned into me gently, as he always did, as if he knew. As if he'd always known. My husband had bought him as a symbol of wealth, just another acquisition. But for me, he had become something else entirely. My listener, my escape. I brushed him slowly, each stroke calming the turmoil in my mind. Beneath my touch, his strength pulsed tense, alive, untamed. There was something hypnotic about it, something wild, something real. I pressed my forehead against his neck, closing my eyes. His warmth eased the emptiness inside me. For a while, I let myself stay like that, still, quiet, safe. Memories bubbled up how my husband once touched me, once looked at me like I was his whole world. That version of him, of us, felt like someone else's story now. The woman who once basked in that love, I could barely remember her. Now, all I had were fragments, glimpses, a bond that didn't ask for words or promises. The sun dropped low, casting long shadows over the stable floor. Reality, heavy and familiar, returned. I stood up, slowly. I should go. I should pretend everything was fine. But as I turned to leave, my hand lingered on his side just a second too long. Something inside me shifted. Something quiet, deep, and unmistakable. The night air crept in, cool and whispering through the open doors. I should have gone back hours ago, but I stayed. The stillness, the dim light, the way his gaze held mine, it was all too hard to walk away from. My fingers slid along the curve of his neck. His body responded, a twitch of muscle, a breath. A silent acknowledgement. He was present. Solid. Everything. My marriage wasn't. My husband was always chasing something. Money, prestige, success. And I was left behind, feeding myself lies about how loneliness wasn't killing me. I kept tracing lazy circles on his coat, wondering when I'd last felt truly wanted. Not just touched, but seen. Missed, cherished. He shifted under my hand and exhaled, his breath brushing my skin. A warmth bloomed in me in welcome, but undeniable. It wasn't supposed to mean anything, but it did. I stepped back, my chest tight, guilt swirling in my gut. This was wrong. I knew that. But knowing didn't make it stop. Knowing didn't erase how alive I felt standing there with him. I wrapped my arms around myself, trying to rub the heat away, trying to remember who I was, what I promised. But as I walked away, I knew it would follow me. That moment, that feeling, it would cling to me, crawl into bed with me, whisper in the dark. A storm rolled in after midnight. Thunder growled in the distance. I couldn't sleep, couldn't stop thinking. I should never have gone back to the stables. But I did. The air buzzed, electric, thick with something unsaid. He stood there, waiting as if he'd always been waiting. My breathing hitched. Every step I took blurred the line between right and wrong. Before I could stop myself, I reached out. My hand brushed his side, trailing over familiar lines that suddenly felt too intimate. His warmth clashed with the cold night air. My skin tingled. My pulse thundered. I whispered something. I don't even know what. Maybe an apology. Maybe a confession. He didn't move. Just watched me, steady and sure, like he understood everything. I couldn't say. The loneliness, the hunger, the endless ache, I let it pour out. I let myself drift toward him, drawn by the need to feel something, anything. For a moment, time stopped. Just breath, just warmth, just being. Then it shattered. Reality roared back in like the storm outside. Shame choked me. My hands trembled. I stepped away, heart pounding, body betraying me. I ran. Sleep never came. I lay awake, skin burning. Thoughts spiraling. By morning, the house felt colder. I moved through the routine shower, coffee, small motions that didn't feel like mine. My hands shook. I couldn't bring myself to return to the stables, not after that. The guilt was everywhere. My phone buzzed. A message from my husband, short, impersonal, like so many before. Once, I'd have cherished that ping. Now, it felt like nothing. I told myself I hadn't done anything unforgivable. But the truth sat heavy. Infidelity starts with a thought, with desire, with wanting. And I had crossed that line. The front door creaked open. He was home. Early, he smiled at me, the same smile that used to make my heart stutter. I smiled back, practiced and hollow. He kissed my forehead, said he missed me. I repeated it. Light. He unpacked. I stood at the window. In the distance, the stable sat quiet beneath a clearing sky. Everything looked the same, but nothing was.